This is my slightly amended version of a country folk song called Starina, the Appley Towers Mermaid, written and sung in 2026 by the legendary troubadour Steve Love from the Isle of Wight. This is a song about a mermaid called Starina from near Appley Towers in Ryde on the Isle of Wight, which was a bedtime story that a mother tells to her child every night. Starina, the Appley Towers Mermaid. Starina was the Appley Towers mermaid from days of old, and was the story at bedtime that my mother told. And she would tell me this story before I went to bed every night, about Starina the mermaid from the Isle of Wight. Once upon a time the story began as they do. There lived a young mermaid called Starina, who looked just like you, with ginger high hair and a body decked all in green, and a fishy tail that was not often seen. Starina played in the waves, and she rode with their motion, and she sang with the creatures that lived under the ocean. And all of the while Starina had not been seen before, until she walked up the sand on Appley Beach's fair shore. Starina was the Appley Towers mermaid from days of old, which is tale with no ending that my mother told. And this was a story my mother told me at night, about Starina the mermaid from the Isle of Wight. Then one day a storm unleashed all of its power through Ryde's seafront marina and up by Appley Tower, and Starina the mermaid was landed and stranded and all in distress, and her tail turned into a floral green dress. And as the waves fell, Starina looked down and she froze, for under her dress she had legs, feet and toes. Starina looked towards Appley's seafront, and she took it all in, and she shook her hair in the air, and she started to sing. Starina was the Appley Towers mermaid from days of old, which is a tale with no ending that my mother told. And this was a story my mother told me at night, about Starina the mermaid from the Isle of Wight. Then nightly Starina the mermaid came up to the shore, beside Appley Towers, and set off to explore. Starina crept around the island in the darkness of night, listening intently and hoping she might hear voices and music and learn some more tunes to sing by Appley Tower in the light of the moon. And at the break of the day, how quickly Starina she learned to go back into the sea when her fishtail returned. Starina was the Appley Towers mermaid from days of old, which is a tale with no ending that my mother told. And this was a story my mother told me at night, about Starina the mermaid from the Isle of Wight. Then one day a prince came, and how did he get here? And he heard Starina's voice, so fine and so clear. The prince found Starina by Appley Towers as she sang by the sea, and he said, I will sing with you if you will sing with me. The prince asked Starina if she was married, and she told him no, and it will soon be morning and I will have to go. But if you wait for me here, I will be back at the next dark hour, and I'll come ashore to sing some more by Appley Tower. Starina was the Appley Towers mermaid from days of old, which is a tale with no ending that my mother told. And this was a story my mother told me at night about Starina, the mermaid from the Isle of Wight. Well, Starina and a handsome prince, they were soon wed, because they got it together, was what all my mother said. It's a never-ending story, of that I am sure, and tomorrow night I will tell you some more. So now off to bed you go, good night my sleepy head. I've told you about Starina the mermaid, whose tale to you I have just read. Starina the Appley Towers Mermaid by the
Well done, Brian.
legendary Steve Love.
I've never heard
A
Steve sing
bedtime
that.
story that all mums could tell to their children.
I've never heard him sing that one. Oh, it's a new one on me
It's a
entirely.
very new one. I think it was February.
Oh, is it? I saw him twice over the weekend, once on Friday and once on Saturday, performing in two different places.
Well, he didn't sing that one then.
No, he didn't. He did sing the traffic song.
Okay. So you haven't seen The Mermaid by Appley Towers, presumably, then? Who comes aboard, comes to shore to sing?
No, I haven't. I'm quite often up that way because we've actually got a beach hut at Puckpool, so we're within sight of Appley Tower. But I've never seen a mermaid. I have seen seals there.
Yeah. Well, she comes out at night, so you'll have to go there after dark, evidently. Yeah, evidently when they come ashore, they lose their tail and they grow legs. So, according to Steve, anyway.